Welcome back, everybody, to another special bonus episode on the Killer Kaiju podcast, where you come for all of your giant monster and serial killer slasher needs. Today, we are continuing our little series here with the second entry in the Friday the 13th series. And as always, it's Lucas.
Hey, it's Josh as well.
And we are
I'm
ready
here.
to get our kill on. So
As
we enjoyed the
always.
first one. It's great. It's awesome. But a lot of people were confused when they saw it because Jason wasn't in it. They were like, what the hell? What's going
I'm
on?
okay with it.
Me too. But he's in this one. I mean,
Got that
technically he's in the last
backstory.
one, but he's in this one more. And he's killing people, doing the thing he does best.
With a bag on his head.
And we're going to love it. That being said, folks, if this is your first time, which would be awfully weird if this was your first time coming into this series, just doing the commentary of the second Friday film. But if that's the case, this is the commentary / podcast where you can watch along the movie with us, or you may just listen to it as a podcast and listen to our fun facts and reactions about the film. With these movies, unlike the Godzilla films, folks, there will be spoilers filled throughout. So if you have not seen this movie or you just don't care, make sure you watch it first, then come back. Or if you don't care, please press onwards with our love for these movies. So as always, folks, we'll give a little countdown and we will start watching the film and we'll give you our opinions and facts throughout watching the film. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So we're going to dive in what many assume is the first bloody entry in the Friday the 13th series, as the first one was kind of a plot setup. This is where the story really starts driving that we're going to see for the next 12 some odd films. All right,
I'm
let's
excited.
dive right in. This one's good. I love this one. So without further ado, folks, we're going to get that countdown and we are going to dive right on in. So we're going to be starting the film in 3, 2, 1. And
I literally love 90% of these movies.
Yeah,
Pure gold.
we all know.
I can watch them over and over.
Jason Goes to Hell. That's
Yep.
the only one I don't like. The rest of them, some of them are a little lesser quality. Like, Jason Takes Manhattan's a little meh for some people, but I still like it.
I can deal with it.
Yeah.
And especially because it's shot in Vancouver, I have no complaints. But
So other than
definitely Jason Goes to Hell is poop.
So I love this way this one starts. It reminds me a lot of just It because of the kid walking in the puddles and by the sewer gates. But this film only has 2 reoccurring characters from the last film, right? I believe. We get Alice in the beginning here, the survivor girl from the first one in the first section of the film. And we've got Jason technically, and then we get restock footage and flashbacks to Betsy Palmer's character as well, playing Pamela Voorhees.
One thing I never understood about this part was just like, did he just like follow her home? Just like, I'm gonna kill her now.
Like, how did he know where she was? Well, I mean, after all that, he probably was stalking her because that's the one that killed his mother. So it is a little unorthodox,
I don't know, man.
but considering like the whole thing is he doesn't leave the camp unless like tricked or fooled otherwise, right?
Exactly.
So interesting fact too, the actress who plays Alice, they originally wanted her for more of scenes in this one, but they didn't want to bring her, or she didn't want to be in it because apparently there was a stalker from the first film who was following her and broke into her house and all this crazy stuff. So she didn't want to be involved with the films anymore.
Oof.
Right?
Definitely not the one I would have stalked.
No. Oh, see, now we get the kind of the recap. It's nice how they do the recap for people who hadn't seen the first one, right? Also, because it would have been a full year since they've seen it, right?
And in a dream sequence, so
exactly.
It
So
doesn't
it's
seem
not
so
so rehashed.
Exactly.
I like it. It gives an excuse for wanting to rehash what happened. So creepy. It's funny too. Betsy Palmer, the actress who plays his mother, Pamela.
Yep.
She actually knew that this movie was in development, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "Well, my son died at the end." Like, and she's actually never even seen this film in its entirety.
Oof.
That was like one and done for her.
Well, I've seen a lot of it, so
well, a lot of
enough for
people
both
don't
of us.
watch the films they're in too, right? Like some people don't like doing it. Like there's very few people who actually watch their films. Like I know
I
for a
totally
fact,
get that. I hate listening to my voice, so
yeah,
I'm
like,
never
I
gonna
know,
watch one of these episodes.
We
But
saw him in the last one, Kevin Bacon. There's only like one film that he'll actually like rewatch, and I believe that's Tremors. That's the
Tremors
only one
is
he'll actually
great.
watch. And I think it might be because his kids like it, and
I own all of them.
they're great films. My favorite one's the Ass Blasters when they fly. The other thing that made me kind of go, what?
Instant
When Jason
Jason.
walks up on that kid, like, I mean, I know it's not right in today's mind. No one would make a big deal, but like a deformed guy walking down the street, that would cause quite the rouse, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm overthinking this too much. I heard though the beginning of this film, the whole recap, some versions and the extended versions can go as long as like 15 minutes and like really take up a huge chunk of the film. It's like, yeah, I can see how that could be a little overwhelming. But yeah, for those who are wondering, we are watching just the original cut. We're not watching extended director's cuts here. We're watching the regular film in its entirety, in case you guys have a different version. So our time syncs up if you're watching it as a commentary.
You may want to turn this boy down a little.
Yeah, it's kind of loud, eh?
I think we're a little quieter than the screams are.
Yeah. We got subtitles going too, so we're able to see what's going on. The classic ruffle on the beach, a little rustle on the beach.
I would hate that. I just hate sand in general.
everywhere.
So like, it sucks.
It gets everywhere. I hate the
You're
water.
rolling
I hate
around
the
and it would
beach.
get in my eye, and I'd be like, no.
Look, it's all
life
over
is
her pants and her shirt there. So, you know, like that's, you might as well just throw all those clothes out. And then he sticks her face in the ground.
Smash.
That was brutal. I remember seeing that scene last time and being like, that wasn't a stunt double. That was actually her. Like, they didn't have money for stunt doubles in this movie. And she just
Pam
smashed
said,
her face
"Fuck
off
it."
the ground. Yeah. It's pretty aggressive.
Chop time.
But I still love when you can see the bone cartilage, as we brought up last time, in her neck. That's wild.
God, I love these movies. I'm just so pumped. If I don't talk, it's just because I'm watching them in excitement, like always. I feel like it's my first time every time.
So obviously, Sean S. Cunningham only did the first Friday movie. We have a different director coming in for this one. The director for this movie is Steve Miner, and he honestly, this was his first his directorial debut, and he does part 2 and part 3 directing, and then he does no other Friday films after that. But he does come back for a lesser liked film in the Halloween series.
Ari Lehman. Sorry.
He comes back to do the Halloween H2O 20 years later, which is one of the lesser liked Halloween films.
But lesser liked, but it's not terrible.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
the one
not
I'm
the worst.
thinking of.
Yeah. So he's done a few things afterwards too, but this is definitely seems to be his big stuff, is these 2 movies here.
But what about the boy?
The boy, Jason.
He's our boy.
Don't worry, you'll see him soon enough. The boy. He's our boy. So if you could play any serial killer, different question for a different day. If you could play any murderer and slasher killer in any of these movies, horror movie star would be an easier way to put it. Who would you pick if you could play any of them?
BTK and Michael Myers. To answer both those questions.
There you go. You want to play Michael, eh?
Pow, yeah, because I already have the cosplay, and it's fun.
I feel like, sorry guys, I'm just taking my medication here. I feel like if I was to play any of the horror figures, I would want to play Leatherface.
Oh, Leatherface would also be rad.
Yeah, I think that's more up my alley. The kind of sympathetic, lost, but kind of animalistic tendencies, and his like loud noises and not speaking, like, but also just like I don't know. I love the idea of Leatherface as a character. I think it's.
I see you
really
being
cool.
a part 2 Leatherface.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that one. That's like my favorite version.
I don't know.
I know the first movie is like OG, but I really love the second movie. It's so funny and so good.
Gunnar Hansen is the guy who plays Leatherface in the first one, right? I could be getting. Yeah. I really like his portrayal as Leatherface. It's really good.
The little dance sequence at the end always gets me.
So
makes me
good.
Giggle.
I love it. And I also love the newer ones too. The one remake, I want to say it was Michael Bay. It's not Michael Bay. I don't think that did it. But that one I actually enjoyed. It wasn't the worst thing ever. I generally liked the take on it. The one with Jessica Biel and Jonathan Tucker and them. It was in 2003. That one I really, really liked. I thought that was my favorite horror remake that was ever done. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I like the beginning, and those ones were good too, but they were nothing compared to the original. But I thought this one captured the element of the first one the best. Was the 2003 one there? But we definitely hate the Friday remake. Well, not hate, but dislike. It's not up to par with the rest of them. Like we say, it grounds him more in reality and takes away the supernatural element of what he's supposed to be, and kind of takes away the scariness. And that's the part we like. So
I'm just trying to think of the remake I like now.
what's your favorite remake? Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I like the Rob Zombie Halloween films were all right, but but when it comes to like boiling down to like their comparison to the originals, they're very much different. They're their own thing. Like everything Zombie does is very unique and different.
I personally really liked the remakes of the It movies. Those were good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a lot of people didn't like the second part, but if you watch them back to back, it's really good. Or at least I think it was.
I agree with you on that one.
I did enjoy the 2018 Myers movie, like the Halloween movie.
I have not seen the most recent Halloween one, the one that ignores all the continuity. And
what?
I have still not seen it yet. No, because I wanted to rewatch the old ones first. So
I own it. So
little
watching it.
Yeah, little sneak into the future, guys. We will around Halloween time be doing a Halloween run, but shh, you didn't hear that from me.
Ooh, we should somehow fit Jaws in the summertime.
Oh yeah,
people go to beaches, murder.
Just Jaws.
Shark.
We don't need to watch the other ones. I really don't want to. I'm just happy with watching the first one.
Yeah, I'm kind of cool with like the first and the second. Oh wait, I think the second.
No, just the first.
I just want to watch the one where they go to that weird sea land, or they make the third one sea land. Okay, I want to watch that one because that one's funny to me.
Yeah, they're all definitely really funny and really bad, but the first one is the only one, in my opinion, that's a proper film.
Or like Deep Blue Sea.
The other ones were all cash grabs. Yeah, Deep Blue Sea was right. That's the one where they have the sharks that are more intelligent, right?
Yeah, they like modify them and they start like going back. And there's I can't remember the one dude, but he's attached to the stretcher and they shoot it against the window and it explodes. That movie is rad.
Isn't that the one where is Samuel in that one?
I believe so.
And he gets eaten by the shark, right?
Yes.
It comes up on land and just eats him.
The movie is he's talking about like the submarine or some crap and it comes out of the hole.
Doing his traditional motherfucker
speech. I love that movie too.
Yeah, anything with water is usually eerie for me. Oh, so this is great. I don't want to intrude too off this movie. The whole time she's so on edge because clearly we know Jason's around there because
just randomly has an ice pick in his like just sitting there. Pow pow.
See, watching this, we know what's in the fridge, and I love how she cautionally walks by the fridge. It's like you should have opened that fridge, and then you wouldn't have been so startled, and you probably could have lived. You always look in the fridge. If you're fat, you always look in the fridge. That's why fat people always live.
Now we need that scare jump.
Yeah. And to Kitten, as long as the cat's okay, I don't care what happens to her. So, in fact, if the cat kills her, that would make it even better. I'd just like to point out that she turns on the stove to warm it up then, and then she leans against the stove. Like, what if she caught on fire? Ta-da! So really cool for that shot. And I forgot she gets it to the temple. Gnarly. But for the head models, both head models we get of Pamela Voorhees in this movie, that was what they had Betsy Palmer come in because they did a latex mold of her face. So that's how she knew the second one was being made. But after that, she never saw it again. She thought the film series was going to be done because, under the intention, they weren't planning to do a sequel. And her knowledge of that just further proves that, or the fact that she was just left in the dark. You never really know, considering she wasn't really filming any of it. She just kind of showed up for the last day and did her shit. And that was it, right?
I wonder who got to keep that afterwards.
So. Oh, I imagine that the special effects artists kept it, or the director did, and it's either in their household or in a museum at this point. Or some mad collector spent a disgusting amount of money on it, which who wouldn't? I mean, I would. And I don't even collect a lot of horror memorabilia. That's more of your thing. I'm the kaiju guy. You're the horror guy. But doing this podcast, we're starting to bleed over into each other's territories, which I love. So that's pretty cool. Like I'm starting to get into like horror movies again and collecting, and you're starting to look at figures and
Well, it's
Godzilla
fun,
figurines.
man. It's
I
all in
know.
the fun of it. Like it's people look at me like I'm weird, but I'm like I don't want to see the violence, but it's all in the fun.
Yeah.
You see too many good things in TV shows already, so it's kind of nice to see like the opposite end.
Yeah, exactly. And
You know,
where
like that's why I like the macabre things in the world. Not everything in the world is happy.
and not everything is perfect either.
So like that's why for me horror movies have always been like my main interest, or at least ones I've enjoyed, because like I enjoy the costumes, the effects, the story behind it.
Yeah.
Some guy was just sitting there one day, he was like, "Want to be good?" Some big jack dickhead in a fucking hockey mask.
But they didn't think of that till the third one.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
I know what
Like
you
they're
mean,
just like, you know what, this is a pretty good idea. Basically, Hatchet.
Yeah.
Even though I do like those movies too.
Yeah. Interesting fact. I got to mention it since it's brought up. So the girl here, Sandra, who's with him, super funny, really kind of creepy fun fact. There's actually a sex scene between these two characters later on that we know happens.
So
And
you definitely know what's
originally,
gonna happen with them.
originally,
Also,
though, there
Ralph.
was more full frontal nudity. Oh yeah, he's another reoccurring character to this one, but he's dispatched in this movie for sure. This is his last one. But the actress, Marta Kober is her name, who played Sandra. There was a full frontal nudity scene filmed and everything, but near post production, Paramount did some investigation to the actors and actresses and discovered that she was only 16 at the time. So the nudity was edited out and the film destroyed, according to producers anyway. They're like, yeah, we're going to get arrested for this one. That's child pornography. And they destroyed it all instantly. But they still filmed it. And you know what scares me even more? That just shows how desperate this girl was to be in a film. And that makes me a little uneasy. A little uneasy about the production of this film. But luckily,
Sad
Sean S.
part.
Cunningham wasn't involved in it because I feel like he wouldn't have let that slide. He's a pretty professional director.
But sad part, that's a normal in Hollywood nowadays.
Yes,
well,
I know.
Well, like especially back then.
Yeah, because it wasn't all eyes on behind the scenes back then. But yes, if they were going to output it to mass audiences, they definitely couldn't do it. So it's a good thing they caught that, because that could have been the end of this franchise right there. If that
100%. But like kudos to her for even landing the role, because like you might not know it now, but these movies are iconic as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with not seeing her naked. Like I don't care about nudity in these movies.
And
I just want to watch them all like.
And honestly,
Jason.
I'm sure that they did the scene or whatever, and they didn't show the frontal nudity, and then they just had multiple shots, so some of them got in, and one of them maybe made it into the cut, and then they realized, they're like, oh yeah, no, we shouldn't be doing that, and they cut it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I doubt that she was forced upon her. Well, not that we know that, but I'm pretty sure she was like, yep, that's what involves in these films. That's fine, and maybe she went behind their back and lied. But
well, now that this movie is like the second one, right? And clearly the first one did good, had the ratings that they wanted, or at least the reviews. I wonder how much they were paying each actor, or at least roughly around.
I could imagine that these, because when the first one came out, it wasn't as
bucks.
like it was popular, but like most slasher films, they assumed that like they were just going to pump out another one, Samad. I don't think they had a bigger budget for this one. I think it was kind of still low. It was definitely more than before because they got picked up more by Paramount Pictures for this one, but I feel like it definitely wasn't enough to pay for top high-end actors. I feel like the budget kind of started to settle in, because it's really hard to get money up front for these types of movies, especially back then, unless you had an established series going, right? And I feel like the next one was the solidifyization, where they're like, these movies make money, we have money, and the studio was going to invest more. And that's why in the fourth one we get bigger named actors, like we get Corey Feldman and other actors coming in, and actresses who are definitely got paid more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I love Corey Feldman. I'm excited for the next
he's
movie.
Awesome. Truly one of Hollywood's hidden gems. Like he's not hidden by any means, but he's definitely not talked about enough because of the allegations that went behind with a lot of his issues he had on set with people, which we'll get into later. I was just
about to say that. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that's happened, but like,
yeah, but the man, for what he's been through and what he's done with his life, like super proud of him.
Great actor.
Amazing, incredible.
10
Everything
out of 10.
He's been in it is just great. And I couldn't imagine, like, I know I've been a kid and think, wow, I could act. No. And to see a kid who has that kind of acting chops at that age and is able to go through with it, like,
and basically took on a main role.
Exactly.
Like he besides Jason, who do we focus on the most in those movies? Yeah, Corey Feldman.
And
Tommy.
he did such a good job that his character was able to be used in future films. Like they weren't just like, oh, his character was a waste, let's just kind of ignore him in the next film. No, he did good enough that they wanted to incorporate that character and his story into the future of the films, because he did such a good job portraying the character and made the audience feel for that character and really connect with him. So it was great. They find the sign, Camp Blood, let's go. Yeah, death, that's what that screams to me. Wow. And it's true. Adriana King, the girl who plays Alice, obviously with the obsessive fan who was stalking her and broke into her apartment, she decided to avoid any further acting opportunities and pretty much didn't know
Just
any
drop off the
on-screen
face of
work.
the earth.
Yeah, and just literally stopped. She did voiceovers for a couple things later, like 15 years down the road, but at that point her acting career was over. It just wasn't worth it to her. And I don't
I
blame
wonder
her.
if she goes to Comic Cons or like horror cons.
I
Probably
assume not. No. I
Well,
don't
you'd be
think so.
surprised, man. A lot of these people show up randomly, and you're like, "Oh, okay, cool."
I mean,
Also,
yeah,
this
you
is
never
my
know.
favorite level in the Friday game. Just saying.
This map here.
Yes, I like this map.
Yeah, like the next thing she did after this was 2010
Ooh.
Psychic Experiment, and then she did some voices for some other stuff.
Who like
And that was
short
it.
shorts?
Yeah.
I like short shorts.
Gotta have a short booty shot.
Pow.
Pating. Of course.
Hello, señorita.
Like how she's got the Mickey Mouse shirt on too. Come on.
No, that thing would sell
As
for
a
like
time.
$80 nowadays.
Right? The
Disney
Packanack
stuff, man.
Lodge.
Not cheap.
A Packanack. That's so funny. Packanack Lodge. Big old American flag. America. You know it.
Fuck yeah.
Where we are.
America.
Though I feel like, yeah, you know, I was gonna say this is kind of more of a Canadian feel, these movies, but no, they're America's. Fuck, what am I even saying?
It's just because Canada's 95% looks like this.
It's all forestry, and we have tons of like lakes and little things. And I mean, so does the States, but let's be real, Canada's more forest rather than little cottage areas.
Well, when most people think about Canada, it's like winter all the time, but it's the entire opposite. We do get a lot of winter, yes, but
yeah,
when it's not winter, we basically are a forest, and then Toronto and like a few other bigger cities.
and that's it.
Mountains and forest. I enjoy this. Canada's great.
Oh. Yeah, damn right. You'll be right back. Up to no good. So now we get introduced to our main survivor girl here of this film. Let me see if I can remember her name before they say it. Ginny, Gina, something with a
Ginny?
J. It's Ginny. It's Ginny. Okay, I just had to look now because it's bothering me. It is Ginny. And the actress Amy Steele. What else has she been in? I wonder. Probably not a whole lot other than this film. No, nothing crazy. She has been in a lot of other stuff, like a lot of TV series. She does a lot of TV series, that's for sure. But no really movies since this, just part 2 here. She was in a couple episodes of Family Ties. The A-Team. She was in an episode of the A-Team. We were talking about the A-Team last time.
You and the A-Team.
Great, bro. It's a great show. Classic. And then Walt Gorney, who is the actor who plays Crazy Ralph. It's really cool. He was actually in Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. He played Duke Domestic in that film. So that's interesting. He's done a few other things other than these. He kind of went to bigger and better things as well. And wow, super interesting. He's uncredited, but he was the opening narrator for Friday the 13th, The New Blood. That's cool. Really cool. So he was in the first one, the second one, and then I want to say that's the seventh one. Yes,
Little
seven, episode 7.
flashback going on.
Yeah, he did the opening narration for the New Blood. That's cool. And he was from Austria. There you go. I imagine with that cheekbone line, he's got to be from Austria. And he had a long life too. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2004, but he lived to age 91, and he died in New York City.
Damn.
Good old Big
old
Apple. So at least he was he had some good money behind his name, you know what I mean? So that's good to know. That he had a good career and a good life. That's good to know.
Oh, of course the car doesn't work.
Always the dog in this movie. Usually I always love the dogs in this movie, but the dog in this movie is ridiculous. It's like that Shih Tzu looking dog, and then it's got its hair done up in a braid. I'm like, guys, what have you done to this dog? But the girl who owns it, you can totally understand why it looks like that.
I've always wanted to go to a campsite that looks like these. You know, like that has the cabins, the little dock.
Oh, bro, that's where we were gonna go this summer. We were gonna go on a little camping trip, SB and I, and they have like a little cottage area that they rent out every year, and it's kind of the same idea.
Oh, I'm definitely going camping, but I don't know if it'll be somewhere like that.
Yeah. You'd honestly be surprised at how cheap it can be.
I want to so bad.
I love
camping.
The cinematography of this shot where it's all of them sitting around the campfire and like the house in the background. It's just a good shot. When I think of Friday the 13th Part 2, there's three things I think of. I think of this shot, the guy in the wheelchair going down the stairs, and I always think of the one shot where at the end, spoilers again, guys, we're talking spoilers in this movie for sure, where Ginny is getting chased, and there's the shot where she stands up and she looks at the camera and you see Jason running towards the cabin in the window. That scene, those three always stick out to me because those are three of my favorite shots in this movie.
I like when the dude in the wheelchair gets killed and he falls back on the like in the stairs,
but and doesn't flip over the whole way down. Blows my mind. It's just silly because to me, like, it opens up with the Alice killing and obviously and all that, right? And they could have easily not had that at all and then recapped it as him telling the story over the fire here. And just erased all of that beginning, and it wasn't even needed. I always thought that's how it should have been done, because I believe in the third movie, they recap it again, and they recap, or it must be one of the future movies, but they recap, and it's him telling the story in this campfire, this scene, but then they use the flashback footage from the first one. It's interesting. I'm pretty sure it's the end of the third one, or the beginning of the next film, sorry. I guess we'll find out when we get there. And if not, you guys can tear me apart on the internet like you're supposed to in the comments below.
Do you know that the cottage is actually still there? We should go and visit it.
Oh, I assume anytime there's anything like this, it's rare that they would tear it down. They could make so much money off of it, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it right now.
Where is it located? Jersey still? That would be fun.
Give me a second. I'll find the location.
Waiting to devour anybody in the camp counselors, thirsty for young blood. I love this guy. Clearly the troublemaker and the comedian of this movie.
Could you imagine if Jason chose that mask and that's the one that we saw through the entire movie?
I'm a little disappointed we didn't. I wonder if they thought about it at one point, maybe.
It's in New Preston.
Pretty much. Ooh. There he is. And then the little foreshadow, he puts it on the spear that he uses later. They totally could have used that mask. But nah. That's interesting. The plot of part 2 shocked most people associated with the original film. Betsy Palmer, Tom Savini, and Sean Cunningham all have made public remarks about how stupid it was that Jason was alive the whole time. And if he was, then why didn't he just tell his mother that he was alive, which would have avoided all the murders in part 1?
Truth.
I mean, fact.
He's a shy boy. He grew up, got scared, and he's like, I don't know, man.
But was he actually alive, or was he like truly brought from the dead in some weird kind of supernatural sense? You know, you never know.
Maybe she didn't know that he was alive, and he didn't know that she was. She wasn't showing up at the camp every day, you know. Maybe he was that young that he didn't know how to get home. Those
I
kind of
find
little things.
I find it funny too. In the last movie, it was supposed to be his mom killing the whole time, but yet it was a male actor who played them. And then in this scene, in the first scene in this one, when Jason's legs are walking across the street towards Alice's house, it's the only time in the series where Jason was actually portrayed by a woman, Ellen Lutter, because she was the film's costume designer. And they needed somebody to stand in, so she did it. Super funny. Get the guy actor for the girl part, then the girl actor for the guy part. This is like old ancient Greece theater. I love it.
They're lame dancing.
Yeah, so apparently Tom Savini was unavailable for this one. So they turned to Stan Winston to deliver the gore for this one. But he was forced to leave this production for scheduling conflicts because he was making way for the actual guy who did it, Carl Fullerton, who's actually did this apparently. So, and he ended up doing like work in The Godfather Part 3, Silence of the Lambs, and Philadelphia.
Well, this one's got some pretty good gore.
Yeah, I think it was all right.
So
as long as they don't get worse, that's when a film drops in quality. That's what really is noticeable and makes it the worst.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. And of course, there has to be a clothes removing scene. Got to have that trap. But it's the final girl,
Always.
so they won't actually show full nudity because then that would defeat the purpose of having her be the one that survives.
They would have had to pay her too much.
Yeah. So really funny getting into the ending a bit because I know I'll forget to talk about it when the time hits because we'll be all caught up in the crazy excitement of the ending. Obviously at the end it zooms in on Jason's mother's dead head and then it fades to black. But in the original deleted part of the ending, after the camera completely zoomed in, her eyes open and she smiles at the camera, indicating that Jason has killed Paul at the end. But it looked too fake, so they cut it out of the film and it made it kind of more of a mystery whether Paul lived or not.
I feel like it would have been too cheesy with
Yeah.
it.
And that's this one is the scariest, in my opinion.
It would have worked better with Freddy, like in Freddy versus Jason, you know, like at the end when he like winks, because that's a Freddy thing. He's asshole.
Funny, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Comical. With Pam, it would have been like, oh, okay. There was no humor before this. It's just her being a psycho bitch.
There wasn't a lot of injury on this film, but one injury that I always hear about when they're talking about this is the guy, Steve, I'm going to butcher his name, Daskowitz. He's the only actually person who ended up really getting injured. And it was because during the scene when he's chasing Ginny and she jumps out of the woods and scares him, you know what I mean? And knocks him over to get away. He falls and he actually landed on the pickaxe that he was carrying and it broke his ribs.
Oof.
So, and he had to end up going to the hospital and getting stitches and then return for work. So, and apparently she cut his finger with the machete at the ending fight scene as well. Amy just beat the crap out of this guy. She broke his ribs, cut his finger open with a machete. God, you think Jason was the killer? She's the real one to look out for.
Having fun with it and then being like, oops, sorry, bud.
Sorry, Ralph. This is your moment, buddy. You're done. See, that's what he gets. So he's being creepy. More. He's being creepy, staring at them. That's what he gets.
But I wish we saw more of Ralph. Like you didn't get to see him be all crazy in this one.
No. Oh, I got a pug coming to sit on my lap to keep me safe. Oh, hello, Bruce. Hi, buddy. It was all a dream. No.
Used to read Word Up magazine.
Oh my God. Beware of bears. Oh, he's a good dog. Is there something ironic about a guy in a wheelchair yelling at people to run faster? Like, obviously, that guy has a reason because he's jacked as hell, as we find out later on. Like, he works out. There's no stopping him. That's for sure.
All arms. All arm.
Yeah, all arm. Now, I wonder, was the actor who played him actually handicapped? I wonder.
Probably not.
You never know. What's his
No,
name? Is
but
Mark,
usually
right?
not.
Yeah, it's Mark.
I believe so.
Yeah, I highly doubt it, but let's see, because he was in
First
couple
picture is
other
him
movies,
running a
too.
marathon.
Can you imagine? Well, that proves me wrong. No, he is most definitely not handicapped in real life. Well, I like when there's a little bit of realism to that. And I mean, especially the scene when he gets pushed down the stairs, I'd be like, yeah, but that was a dummy, but still, you know what I mean? Like, but I love it when they use people who generally are fitted right for their roles. Like if you look at if you've seen, I might spoil this a little bit for people because it's a newer film. Spoiler alert for Godzilla versus Kong, everyone. But one of the main kids in the movie, the main girl, she's deaf in the movie, and she's also deaf in real life. And she's the one who like communicates with Kong. And honestly, it adds such a like the way she expresses emotion with her sign language and how she takes in every moment, like it makes it that much more real. And she does an incredible job. Like she's easily steals the screen in that movie.
Same with Peanut Butter Falcon. I don't
Yep.
know if you've ever seen that one, but that was awesome.
Yep.
I love me some wrestling.
So you know she's just gonna get dispatched. No, they got your dog. I forget if they ever tell you what happens to the dog, but I think they just. I think it. Oh, never mind. I remember the dog shows up at the end. The dog lives.
Yeah,
Because
why
at
is he
the
gonna
end
hurt
they
a
think
dog?
it's they think it's the killer coming in, and then it's the dog, and they think everything's okay, and that leads us to our big ending climax there. I forgot about. Oh, carrying around a chainsaw. Are we setting up Leatherface? A Leatherface Jason crossover here. Imagine just like an all-out horror brawl. Like you just have a big Royal Rumble, and you just throw in Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, Leatherface, and just like watch them slaughter the shit out of each other.
So Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. Well, no, because Dead by Daylight's one killer versus four survivors still. It's still just that way. You know what I mean? But like I'm talking about like four killers versus each other. Like
Like a
kind of
Mortal Kombat style.
yeah, like not like wrestling Royal Rumble. Like all in one cage, fucking just giving her.
Have like Annabelle. LOL.
No. Lame.
Pinhead
I like
and whatnot.
can we just talk about how effective like the beginning of the first Conjuring film when they talk about Annabelle is better than the entire Annabelle series as a whole? Facts.
I've only ever seen the one
first
movie.
one.
Yeah, the
I'll
Conjuring
give it
movie.
to I think it's Annabelle Creation is the one that David S. Sandberg did. That one is good, but the Annabelle Comes Home one is just silly. It's like super extra budget, and it's just extra as fuck. I did not like it. And the first Annabelle lacked content, and like it had the Conjuring films to face off against too, and we know that wasn't happening. Let's play the Friday the 13th game where we see which character has the smallest bathing suit. I think Ginny wins this one. That's not really hiding anything. But I'm sure obviously people have worn less in these films, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%.
In this one especially. Hopefully not this girl, because now knowing that she's 16 makes this extra creepy. You know, when I was 16 years old watching this, it may have felt right if I knew, but being older now, it just feels wrong and a little uncomfortable. I love his hat though. I love it. It's got more of a, like the brim rather than being straight off like those hats are. It's like off to the side. I like that
I
hat.
just want the short shorts.
I know you want
rock some mean short shorts.
No, we all know the real short shorts you want. You want a Chiros from All Monsters Attack. Those are the ones you want.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
Or Ken's from Godzilla versus Hedorah, where they are short and then they come up into the suspenders. That's the ones I want if I was gonna want any of them. Kid's got shorter shorts than all these characters combined. I don't know. His shorts are pretty short. His shorts are almost shorter than hers. They're matchy matchies. Oh yeah. Look at that detail in that ground. Is that ground real or fake?
There's some made up ground, man.
Oh. Oh no. and we think it's the dog. That's how they're gonna tell, because they're like, oh, it's too mangled to tell. It's not the dog, folks. We know this. You think it's the dog, but they want you to think it is, but it's not. Because people would hate this movie if they killed a dog. If you kill a dog, you're instantly like, nah. The only movie I've ever seen a dog kill where I didn't feel bad, and I still felt bad, but like it was more suitable, was in Watchmen. If you guys have ever seen Zack Snyder's take on Watchmen, there's one scene. Have you seen Watchmen, Josh?
I don't think so.
You would really enjoy Watchmen. I think you should watch it one day. Rorschach, he's played by Jackie Earl Haley, who he plays Freddy in the remake. It's the reason he got the job, because he was so good as Rorschach, playing a masked character. And Rorschach's kind of the vigilante, I do what I need to do. I'll kill the bad guys if I have to stop them kind of guy. And he's tracking down this child rapist, and he finds him and he gathers evidence. He goes into his burner and he finds the girl's underwear, and he had burned her clothes and fed the remains of her to his dogs. So he takes the dogs and he kills his dogs and whips them through his window, and the guy's freaking out, and he kind of uses it as a distraction, and he throws the dead corpses of the dogs through the window at him, and he's like, this isn't funny, man. And then he comes and confronts him about it, and then he's like, you got me, I'm sick, take me in, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, like, I'm a sick man, I need help. And Rorschach just whips out a cleaver and just drives it into his head, and he says one of the best lines ever, and it's I don't want to mess up the quote. 1 second, just to get the actual quote.
I smell like beef.
Oh, it's men get arrested, dogs get put down. And then he drives it multiple times into his head and just totally obliterates his head, and the blood splatters up at him. Wild scene. Yeah, for those who really want a gritty, grounded in realism superhero movie, besides if you like watching The Boys and stuff like that, I definitely recommend checking out Watchmen. It's an amazing graphic novel, one of the best of all time. It's very famous, but Zack Snyder's take on it is very good, as Zack Snyder likes to very much take from the source material and do shot for shot from the books, and he does a very good job at bringing that graphic novel to life. Very good movie. Let's get back to this, though. We were still talking about mass killers, but
dun 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 dun. This guy's gonna get fucked up.
Oh yeah, that's what you get for being a cop and not being in shape, bro. I know you're just a small town country cop and you don't think you'd ever have to do anything this serious. But
me as a cop,
this is its time. Anytime I ever see anyone running through the fields in these ones, I always think of I want to say it is The New Blood, Part 7, when the paintballers.
Yeah.
That's all I think about is those guys. That's a great scene. And then the guy shoots him with the paintball gun, and he looks down like, what the frig? And just kills him.
Pretty sure that's CJ Mann or McMahon or some shit that plays that Jason. He's a pretty good one. He walks really fast though.
Is it Kane Hodder?
Oh, no.
He's my favorite
Kane Hodder.
Jason.
Yeah.
I love him as my Jason. He's great. Which he doesn't even play my favorite Jason in, like, he's my favorite Jason, but he doesn't play Jason in my favorite Jason movies, because I'm pretty sure he's only in Manhattan, Jason X, and Goes to Hell, and then he doesn't play him in Freddy vs. Jason. He's just in the 3, I believe, right?
I think 4. I think he's in one other one, and then he also plays Hatchet and Dad of Hatchet.
Yes.
And then he also played Ed Gein in a weird Ed Gein movie, which is weird because
interesting.
He is not shaped like Ed Gein whatsoever.
So really cool. Kane Hodder did all the motion capture for the Friday the 13th video game.
I knew that.
That's pretty neat. But the first Jason role he got was Jason Takes Manhattan, I believe. Nope, wrong. He is the one in The New Blood. That's why I like him. That was the first one.
Because I was like, I think he's in another one.
Part 7. He's in Jason Takes Manhattan, Part 8, and then he plays him in Goes to Hell and Jason X. This is his last Jason role.
Well, kinda in Jason Goes to Hell, because again,
he's barely.
It's like 5 fucking different people.
Yeah.
The movie just is bullshit, man. That one doesn't count anymore. It's out.
It just doesn't count.
Cut.
Awesome.
At least it took them like 8 movies to fuck
Oh,
up one though.
that's a brutal shot. The hammer to the back of the head. That one, like every time I watch that scene, my ears go back and I cringe because I feel it. Oh, bleh.
Well, he shouldn't have come in his house. Stop being a nosy little bastard.
I know, right? Shit. I gotta laugh for a moment. So he's credited as Jason X and Jason Voorhees and Jason X, but it says Jason Voorhees slash Uber Jason. That's the nickname for Jason after he's been upgraded in that movie is Uber Jason.
Jesus.
It's almost
I
like in
know-
the Godzilla films when they talk about the Super X and they're like, this is the Super X2, then the Super X3. And we always make the joke that it should be called the Super Duper X.
I know you were supposed to get that as a playable character, like the weird robot Jason. But with the court case, we did end up getting it.
Oh, in the game?
Yeah, as
Oh,
like
yeah.
a playable character.
That would have been cool because
And
that has
then
the
we got,
infamous sleeping bag scene there that's redone.
Yes. And then we did get a Tom Savini created Jason. I don't know if you've ever seen that. YouTube it or Google it.
For the game?
Yeah, YouTube's Tom Savini Jason. He did a concept for the video game when it was released, and you only got it if you pre-ordered
Oh,
it.
I see with the fire in his eyes and all that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he did like if Jason came back from hell.
That's essentially what he looks like. He's got pretty much fire. For those who haven't seen it, he's got like fire in his eyes and he's got like scratches all up and down the mask and they glow red heat through them. And then it's the classic chunk missing out of the bottom corner of his mask. And you can see his mouth is emitting lava like flame particles and shit. And it shows through his body and stuff. It's cool.
I mean, for a concept piece, God damn it. I love it.
Yeah, it looks wild.
I cannot talk today. I'm
It's
just
a shame that
focusing.
game is being shut down now.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? We're going to get him in Dead by Daylight. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him in that game.
Then there's also a Blair Witch game I want to check out.
I
That looks
have
so
played that.
good.
However, I bought it 'cause
Like
I
the
wanted
new
to-
one or the old
Yeah, the new one.
one? Okay, cool.
I wanted to play it in VR because it has VR support. However,
Damn.
Oculus fucked me and it's a Quest exclusive. So I would have to get a program to rerun it through essentially an emulator to trick it into thinking mine's a Quest because it was never
Pitter-patter.
released. So,
Pitter patter.
but I did play it on flat screen. Like I played it on my PC and it was all right. It's not as scary or as crazy as you think it's going to be. And it was a little disappointing from that angle, but I guess I just didn't play into it enough.
I wish I could punch you right now. All I'm looking at is this punch bug. You'd be like, I wish you were here.
It's like you just punched me for it.
Yes.
What if it was yellow? Then I get 2 punches, a quick 1-2.
Pow pow. Sorry.
So one really funny thing about this one too, and as they're going down to the bar to party it up, I pointed this out last time I watched this and I thought it was really funny. Oh, booby scene. Sorry, gotta point it every time there's a booby scene. It's like ceiling boob. No.
Side boob.
I forget which character it is. I think it's Ted. It's the guy who was wearing the mask. I think it's him.
Ted White.
Yeah, but when everyone else goes home and back to the camp after they're done, they're like, no, we'll call it early and we'll come back. He stays and drinks because he's like, no, I'm going to stay out and party until last call. And then he ends up staying out the whole night. So in a way, he is the first and only person to survive a slasher film doing what they're normally killed for. He stays out drinking and partying and doing all the bad stuff. But because he does that, he lives because he doesn't come back to get slaughtered.
It's because he had the option of leaving the town, or the camp. So when he's like, come to town, if you get the chance and you're going to town, don't come back.
Yeah, and that's why he continues to drink and party out in the town instead of coming back. And because he chooses to party and drink, which normally is what gets these people killed, he lives. Just find that really funny. We'll dive into that a little more later when it hits.
I like that they call him Scooter.
Scooter.
Like, is that a dick name because he's got wheels?
Probably.
I feel like that's literally like calling him Wheels. Like, sup, Wheels?
Oh my God, like in X-Men when he's like, I'm Storm. And he's like, what do they call you? Wheels? And he looks at Professor
Ooh.
Xavier. I was like, oh, Hugh Jackman.
Burn.
Cutthroat, bro.
But exactly. That's exactly it. I'm like, they called him Scooter. This motherfucker cannot ride a scooter.
I love these old school the hockey games here. I don't know if you guys ever had these growing up. I had one that was it was soccer and like
Soccer's lame.
control on either side, and you like could
Boobs.
play two player. Okay, sorry. We should start a boob counter for these movies.
Twice.
So
Boobs.
we're at 2. In the last movie,
Wait. Are we talking one per boob or like
yeah,
one per pair?
not yeah, prepare. That's 3. Where they
Or
and it's not like
6?
and it's not like where
Huh?
it's side boob or whatever, or just showing the naked posture. It's blatantly when they say when the camera's trying to say, look at this person's tits. That's when you have to add one. 4.
Boobs. Oh, and vagine. Well, bush.
We're not doing a bush counter. We're just doing a boob counter. So that's 4.
And one bush.
Of
I
course.
was gonna
he
say it
steals
just sounds cold.
creep. Just creep just stands there too.
Yeah, give me my shit.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you do that in real life in today's day and age, you will be arrested. That is sexual harassment at its finest. See, he pays for it though.
I would have punched him like a pinata.
Literally just start beating him.
Oops.
She does mess with him a bit though. It's funny. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let him leave. Leave him there. Yeah. You never trust a guy. You never trust a guy who steals your clothes and runs away, you know, because that's what he's just going to do with your life. He's just going to strip you of your necessities and run away. I love how she's like, give me my shirt back. Is that even classified as a shirt?
Yeah.
I guess.
Sounds like
Crop
my kind
top.
of shirt. Give me a high five. I'm all about the free the nipple movement.
I love it when
get
they do
about
these-
it.
I don't know if you noticed in that mirror shot.
I liked that one.
Did you
Goes
catch
down,
that?
comes out, whoop.
I don't know if
Someone
you caught
moving.
that. No, the camera guy is in the mirror.
Oh, is that who it was? Because I was like,
Yeah.
there's something in there.
No, it's just the camera guy.
Fuck,
They
dude, I'm
just-
blind and I'm like 5 feet away.
they just fucked up because imagine like, you know, when they were watching it back on the cams, they didn't have up to quality because this is digitally enhanced now, right? So they really couldn't make out the character in the mirror, but you can see it clear as day if you pay attention. Oh,
Oof.
get another neck slit. Ugh. I never liked that shot because if you noticed, he cuts his throat with the dull side of the blade.
Yeah, and like the cut is like angled really
Yeah.
weird.
Like
It
he
wouldn't have been like a whole throat cut.
I imagine that the dull side, even on a blade like that, because it's a curved, like kind of skimmed blade, that both sides were sharp because they have to be. That's kind of the design. But like, you should have used the other side, man.
You should have just hacked his head off.
Done something cooler than just a
Like
throat
a
slit.
pow.
And then we get this great
Dude.
reveal, and this
Oh.
is the first death we get. Well, the first found death, anyway. I
That's
love how
not
she
the
doesn't
only
even
time he
notice.
got cut.
She still doesn't even notice. She's talking to him, doesn't notice.
There would be blood everywhere.
Yeah. Like, how did you not see the blood on the ground?
Ah.
Yeah,
This is
shredded
where you wanna
boy.
be.
I love that guitar. Look at that wood
Is he
grain.
actually playing guitar?
Nope. They're all playing in it. They're actually playing songs, but it's not the song we're hearing.
I wonder what they're playing.
You've heard live shows before. Live shows don't sound that good.
You gotta, I swear, you gotta make an entire YouTube channel of
That
you just
kid in that
playing-
cowboy hat does not look old enough to be drinking.
Neither did we when we turned fucking 19.
I know,
Canada.
but I mean, probably they're up north in like the boonies,
Oh,
right? They
yeah.
probably got fake IDs. They probably don't even ID out here. They're like, we're
Probably
making
like-
money. Who cares? He's probably the sheriff's son. Smart ass at the bar. He's collecting them.
Yeah, me
I like
too.
how wholesome this scene is. Like, it's a good break of like, because I found the last one, it had some wholesome moments, but it was like tomfoolery and pulling pranks. But I like that how they're all having a good time. It really like, separates, and it really, when that bad hits, it makes it that much more effective. Like the last 30 minutes of this film, like I know the last 20 some odd minutes of the first one were really gruesome when they start finding all the bodies. But I find this one's paced a little different. It shows us negative things throughout the film. Like we already get a body found and we're not even that far in. And then I find the last 20 minutes of this film are fear inducing. It's so suspenseful. While the suspense in the first one was more built up through the process of the film, but this one's more scares and violence, and then the suspension is at the end. And I like that because it's almost like building the whole climax to be the suspense. It's a nice little touch they do. Which is why I think this one's effective.
Would you say Jason is a mama's boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, she's just talking shit, being like, she only knew his mom, or he only knew his mom.
And I like that she has this where she is talking how much he feels for him and everything. And it makes it that much more believable at the end when he fakes to be his mom, because she truly feels that emotion for him. Even though she's saying that to survive, she does mean what she says. You know what I mean? And I think that's why they do this scene here, to further prove why she was able to pull it off, because she obviously feels for him, unlike the other kids who are just like this crazy, ugly lunatic, where she's like, this poor kid, this all happened to him, and then he had to watch his mother get killed. Like, you couldn't even imagine to feel like what that would be like. Well, these guys are just laughing about it, So it kind of sets up the more factual proof that she actually cares for him, so she can pull off what she does in the ending. I feel like Ginny's probably my favorite survivor girl in these movies. Out of all of them, like I do prefer like Corey Feldman as their survivor and Tommy and that, but I think for like the main survivor girl, like because those ones are more like a story. Like I find part 4 and part 5 and even part 6 are actually like a story because they include Tommy, but the rest of them are kind of like new characters every time. So I find like besides those ones that she's probably my favorite survivor girl. So. God, I hope he's not over 19.
They're dying. And he probably was.
Because she was 16. And now that I say that too, and looking at her face, she definitely looks a lot younger. You can see it a lot in her face. But I imagine that when they were casting her, they weren't looking at her face. So... I like the wholesomeness too, because watching this the first time, I was like, oh, these guys aren't doing anything bad. They're just playing games. He's a good guy. Obviously, he's like in a wheelchair, so I didn't think they were going to really dispatch him. But
have you watched any of these movies?
Yeah, I know. But up until then, they didn't do anything wrong. But obviously, it goes wrong here.
It goes. She wants that dick.
Oh, and then she lights up the joint. And that's when it all goes downhill. I'm in trading for what? Smartass.
What a dick.
Right? And I still remember how these guys die. I'll always remember it because of that spear placement. And I love how they do those setups for like, yeah, I'm going to put this spear right here. And you're like, and he's going to pick that up and kill you with it.
Pow, pow, pow.
So I imagine this is the scene with the cut footage.
Yeah, you had to point it out because like now I'm just like,
she's completely clothed. Yeah.
Put on your goddamn clothing. Oh,
see, it's cut. You don't see it. Probably a good idea. And that makes more sense now. I'm happy they didn't. It took a chunk out of our boob counter, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice because it was super creepy if they would have shown it.
Did you say a chunk out of our boob counter because she's got the biggest boobs?
No.
Oh.
She's 16, Josh.
Why? Jesus.
Oh. Well, I didn't know. Oh, no. Death. Now, who deserves to die first, her or him?
All of them.
All at once, just line them up, and Jason just on a horse.
Stab.
And it's just he holds his machete out, and he just runs by and Just slits a massive throat slitting. Oh, hopefully the
Trying to
cameraman's not in the
save
mirror
some
this time.
power. Oh, boob counter.
Not yet. Now she puts a sweater on. We don't get the boob counter going up. So far we're still at 4. I always feel bad. The one I feel bad for the most, I believe, is which one is it? Let me think. I think it is part 4 when the one girl who's like the nerdier s girl, and she her friend tells her to like wear makeup, and she has her first date or whatever, and she's getting all dolled up, and then she just gets dispatched for giving into peer pressure. I'm like, the poor girl. That's the one I really feel for, the death.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
Don't bang, you know. I gotta make a do's and don'ts for horror.
Yeah, well, that might be a future video you guys might see.
I'm
Josh
just
and
saying.
Lucas's top 10 do's and don'ts of horror survival.
If someone offers you to leave
why?
camp, don't do that. From past experiences, don't do that.
Here's a huge tip, ladies. Do not spray your coochie with perfume. It's not a turn on.
You get like gassed out when you go down.
Yeah, you go down there and then you go to breathe. You're like,
is that Windex?
you fucking Windex the bitch. Like, believe it, trust me. Like, guys aren't spraying cologne and Axe body spray on their junk. That's not the top list of our things.
I just grabbed some aftershave, just pow.
And the true champs, you know, they just grab a little bit of peanut butter and
no, too far.
Oh my gosh.
Can't have peanut butter. My girlfriend will die.
There you go.
Sorry, everyone. I told you her weakness.
It's okay. We're not going to pull a horrible bosses and put peanuts in her bath soap or something.
Could you imagine if like Jason just had to defeat my girlfriend and just threw like a peanut at her?
I love the irony that she goes out to get the brush and then
it's raining.
And then it starts raining, so it's just going to ruin her hair anyway. So if I could ask any question about this movie, like if I met the director or the special effects artist and I could ask any question, my question would be, how the fuck did he get all the way down the stairs without the wheelchair flipping over? Like, not only from like a believable point, like that would not happen in real life at all, but even as a prop doing it, how did you get it to stand up the whole time going down the stairs? It blows my mind, pun intended. He goes down the full set of stairs and the wheelchair doesn't flip over once. I wonder how many takes it took. I'm going to try and really analyze the dummy and see if I can see any wires as he goes down.
We need to make a miniature and we got to like
test it out.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll just grab
Barbie
Herbert.
Wheelchair.
We'll grab Herbert and we'll put him in a chair and we'll just throw him down the stairs.
We're just playing around, little buddy.
Like the time we taped him to a pole. Oh. Okay,
yeah,
so it goes down there. Stairs. Go watch.
I don't.
How? It goes at a full vertical back point. See, no nudity. We just get the aftermath of it. Thank goodness.
Shame on all of you.
Shame on both of you. Shame on the people filming.
Shame Wizard is here.
Shame on you. And death has come for you too.
Yep.
I remember when I talked about that super foreshadow weapon placement from earlier. Is skibidi bop.
Wear the mask.
Nah, he throws the mask.
I wish he wore it for like just this kill.
Do you know why he wears a burlap sack in this movie? Why they chose the burlap sack?
I remember seeing it or hearing it once, but I'm not exactly too sure now.
So luckily I do have the information on it. You'll probably remember as soon as I tell you. They chose the burlap sack because they believed it would be the most accessible thing for Jason to get his hands on at a campground.
Yes.
To cover up his face. That would be the most easy thing for him to wear.
If I'm correct, or at least the theory that I heard was that it was supposed to also be a nod towards his mom because she worked in the kitchen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's very true.
So that's where I was like, it would be accessible in that sense, potato sack, fucking onions, anything like that. So
Here we go, folks. The double
oh
impalement.
no, skewered.
Interesting fact. So you just see
Put 'em
him
on a
go for
barbecue.
it, and then you see the spear go through to the ground. There was actually a full shot where it shows him going through the bodies, and they actually had 2 minute two body doubles, and they actually went through the bodies and had the whole shot, but they took it out to avoid getting an X rating because it was super violent. Little fun fact there as well. Yeah. The infamous double impalement was cut to avoid an X rating, yet gory. A still gory photo of the censored shot appears on the back of the video cassette box. Interesting. I'm going to look that up now and see what it's like. I forget how they find the wheelchair guy. Do they find him in a gruesome position? Because they had the same horror trope as the last one where they come back and they find everybody dead.
We will see. Stop ruining the movie.
Spoilers.
Giving away all the, I was gonna say, just giving away all the spoilers. Who's we all? How do you know?
I gave a warning at the beginning of the video. It's their own damn fault. And realistically, if you haven't seen,
isn't he a dick? Everyone,
what are you doing with your life? I am a dick. Oh, I like that little wooden dinosaur built thing they have there. That's cool.
Chang Chang.
Now
I hate you. Now I have that song stick in my head.
What was I looking up again? I can't remember now.
Shame, shame, shame.
No, that's not what I was looking up.
Shame on you.
The video cassette box. There you go.
Of Shame on You? Shame, shame.
No, this movie where it shows the actual double impalement.
Ooga chaga, ooga, ooga.
Oh, it is on the back. Oh my god. Whew. It's pretty gruesome. So for those who haven't seen it, I'll quickly describe it. It's just a bottom view, from his feet, and it shows the girl's face and his torso over top. So obviously she was just poking up through the bottom of the bed, and then they had a body double, a dummy of him, and you just see the spear going through. And it's a pool of blood coming over right in the center of his back. Reminds me of the back bending scene in Freddy versus Jason when he folds the bed in.
Oh, I love that one.
That's what it looks like.
That's a good one.
There we go. The burlap sack at its finest. What a way to go.
Boys just hanging around.
I like this shot. Another really cool shot.
Way to steal Michael's shit.
Yep.
Upside down knife and everything. I want to know how he bruised his thumb.
Well, you always
in the hand with a hammer.
When you stab somebody with those knives, you always hold it upside down. Otherwise, the bottom of the blade goes into your hand. That's just fact.
But I don't think he would know that. You know what I mean? I
don't know. I feel like he's stabbed and killed enough things.
He only knew his mom. He was special.
But she was a cook.
Friends.
She probably taught him knife safety.
When you're gonna stab a human,
yeah,
make sure the knife's up.
Well, she was
what is
crazy.
This, fucking
clearly.
Texas Chainsaw?
Maybe.
Maybe she was the Sawyer's mom that left, and that's how we combine the movies.
Oh my god!
Boom!
Yes, let's do it.
No one ever said that. Clearly there had to be a mom. She just chose not to eat humans, and she was like, I want to eat healthy and organic.
I do like that as soon as people get dispatched in this movie, the speed and the pace speeds up a lot. Once the killings start, they don't stop. They don't slow down.
I always feel like these movies have a really good pace.
The only one that doesn't is Manhattan.
Minutes. Oh yeah.
That one's
also
real
a lot of
paced.
water traveling.
Yeah, same with A New Beginning. Part 6, I think that is, Before New Blood. That one's really slow paced. That's the one where, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, where he's not the killer. It's the other kid's dad, the sheriff.
Roy.
Yeah.
I like Roy. And I like how Roy dies.
Ooh.
No, it's paint.
Yeah, I
got my period.
Josh.
Sorry.
Come on.
What?
Well, I mean, she was only 16. So.
My ass hemorrhaged? I don't know. What
That's
do you want
better.
from me? There we go. Cool. I had a hemorrhoid that burst.
There you go. A burst hemorrhoid is much more applicable.
It's going to be a wild episode. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh yeah, the rain stopping because if the rain was still raining, you still wouldn't look for them.
Nah, fuck
Dicks.
them. No, I wouldn't.
A little bit of rain.
Y'all expect
Oh,
us to go out and
I
get
like this
soaked for
shot.
those dickheads?
Is this the one where it's like someone's in the room? I could be wrong. Yeah. Fail on Jason's part. I mean, it was his vision's probably off because he only has one eye, but goddamn.
This is where he needs the mask. He would have been able to see a little
I
better.
like that they have the first person view of Ginny for this fight scene because it kind of takes away from the silliness of the bad fighting and the bad choreography. But at the same time, Ginny's just standing there going, Paul, Paul, bitch, either help him or get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, she chose the second option, as we can see.
I feel like she chose no option. I feel like she chose the option of being stupid.
Bailed. Real quick.
Lee. I know, it just doesn't wear pants.
Bruce.
Lee.
I don't know.
Interesting little fun fact where I just said Bruce Lee. People think that they had to slow down the footage of Bruce Lee's movie so you can see him fight. But in the actuality, they didn't have the technology or the time for that. So they actually just asked Bruce Lee to slow down.
Can you just like slow down a little bit?
Literally, he was moving too fast. They're like, yo, you got to slow down. Our cameras can't pick you up.
Can you imagine how hard that would be, especially when you were used to like fighting at such, a normal speed for you, and you'd be like,
I know, right?
I'll try.
Why would you stop and watch the door jiggle? Get the fuck out of there. Yep, because he stopped jiggling the handle, so he definitely went left. Oh my goodness. I love them, but I hate them. This shot reminds me a lot of The Shining there.
The Shining?
When she's standing by the door as Jack's axing it, and she's standing with the knife like that in that exact face.
You can't
it's literally
say
the exact same.
That
was a reference to
it's
The
copyrighted.
Shining.
No,
right
you
there.
can't say that. It's The Shining.
The Shining. The Shining. Oh, that was rough. I wonder if that was planned when she slipped out of the window there. Kudos to all the actresses and actors in this movie who just did their own stunts like that, by the way. Shout out to you guys. Making it realistic as hell.
Shout out to the real MVPs that jump out windows.
Yep. Or get thrown out windows. In Jason, I think it's Jason Part 4 or Jason Lives.
Well,
Jason
that's why
Lives
they
or
like to
Friday
use
Part 4.
Kane Hodder too, because he did all of his own stunts.
Yeah. Well, it's an obvious choice. If you don't cast Jason as a stuntman, what the hell are you doing? You don't see
Exactly.
his face, so.
But literally, he's one of the best stuntmen in the world. So
Yeah.
when Kane Hodder came in the picture, I could totally see why they would keep him. Plus, you've seen that man. He looks like Jason.
We all know who the real best stuntman is in the world. So, Mr. Jackie Chan.
I was going to say Evel Knievel. He's not even a stuntman.
No. I mean, he is, but
yeah, I mean, he is just a different kind.
Different. He's not a movie stuntman. Yeah, he just does live stunts for shock value and for record breaks. No, Jackie Chan is a very, very, because he's been through, he's been a stuntman. He's made the mistakes and then become an advocate of stunt safety, and the stuff he's gone through and the stuff he's done is absolutely unbelievable. So I believe this is the scene where she pushes him, and this is where he gets hurt. Oh, no, not that scene. That's when he gets kicked in the balls. He gets hurt for a different reason. I like the change up of music for this one too. I really like the score in this one.
Banger.
I wonder if
like the,
Jaws just set the standard for like suspenseful music
soundtracks. Yeah, 100%. Also in the video game, I'm pretty sure you can use the yellow car.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
See, I like these wide angle shots here of him behind there, and like so you can see everything that's going on. Really cool.
Did you know that Kane Hodder was lit on fire and an accident happened that actually burned the entire one side of his body and his neck?
Wow, really?
Yeah, so like in some of the makeup work when he plays Jason, they just kind of leave that and just makeup over it because it still has the texture of the burn marks and stuff in his arm and is on his neck.
Wow.
If you ever watch an interview with him, you'll notice it more because he talked about it in the one interview I was watching. And honestly, I kudos to that fucking man. He lived through fire, getting burnt, and then plays Jason. Half the prosthetics.
Jeez. So yeah, it was in the late 70s. And it was for Kane Hodder. Let me find out where it was. I can see what it was. I will find it. Get the creepy walking shots always. Especially because she's hiding. So I like that, and she's hiding low to the ground, so it gives you the ground view because that's how she's seeing it, right? Because she's under the bed, I believe, in this scene. Yeah, because this is the whole rat scene with the urine, right?
Yep.
This one's silly.
Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Would have been funny if he just sat on the bed and he's like, wonder where she went.
Yeah, so it was early in his career. During an interview, he offered to show the interview and her cameraman a fire stunt, which went horribly wrong, leaving him with 2nd and 3rd degree burns over much of his upper body. And it was because of these burns that he was initially selected to portray Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street. But that role would eventually go to Robert Englund, and then who formed a lifelong friendship. And he eventually portrayed Jason Voorhees. Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I didn't know that part, but I was like, yeah, I knew he got lit on fire, and I was like, oh Jesus.
So I asked this for so long. Was it her that peed or was it the rat?
It's definitely her. She just pissed herself.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because that's a lot of pee to come from a rat.
Why, like, out of all the things that have just happened to you, a mouse, a rat fucking made you piss yourself?
Yeah.
Just saying. You were getting chased around by a giant 6-foot.
Well, I mean, you can't even hold your piss for 15 minutes.
But that, oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, what an idiot. Why did he have to stand on the chair to stab her? I mean, I know he was trying to be not seen so she would come out, but it's so silly.
Just stood on the bed.
Yeah, he breaks the pickaxe. Oh, she gets a chainsaw now, though.
See, Leatherface.
Oh, cuts him right there.
I
would have picked up the chainsaw and kept going at him.
Exactly.
Carve him up like Thanksgiving dinner. Let's go.
Like, just shove it in his ass. Pow pow.
He'll love it. It'll be orgasmic. And it was on that day we finally heard Jason talk.
Gotta turn the other cheek to keep virgin.
And you know what he said? In more.
Deeper, Papa. Maybe do a little to the left.
A little to the left.
No, right there.
And
right there.
And slide.
Jesus.
What's wrong with
I assume that man is pretty moist at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't need any much pre-lubrication to get going.
Awkward silence.
He ain't dried up boy.
Gonna join a nunnery.
I like when we do these podcasts too, because like the Godzilla ones, these are horror films. They're R-rated, so they're not meant for kids. So we can be a little more explicit with these ones, these commentaries.
And we've both seen these, so it's a lot more.
Yeah.
Not that it's the Zilla
This
ones
scene
aren't
right
enjoyable.
here.
These are just a lot easier to be like, I don't have to focus. And you see him in the background.
That is my favorite shot in Friday the 13th history.
I love when they actually add his cabin into it. It's really neat.
Yeah.
They literally stuck some dickhead in the forest and they were like, build with what we got.
Yeah. And then it's just a pile of bodies in his mom's head. Gross. I do love, the one thing I did love about the remake is when they reach into the hole and they pull out her dead head. I thought that was a nice touch. Nice homage too.
There definitely are some cool scenes in the remake. There's just when they try and explain how he gets around or like that he's a master at archery. Yeah. It loses it for me because like even right in this movie, right? He's got bad eyesight. He isn't sitting at this campsite practicing all year long fucking at the archery thing, you know, just there's little parts that bother me.
Yeah, I feel that.
The costume's good. I like the guy that played him.
Oh, because he's the guy who was in The Hills Have Eyes, right?
Yeah, if I'm correct, he's the dude that played in The Hills Have Eyes. There are pluses to the movie, but there's the negatives, and that's where you lose me.
Oh, here we go.
The fuck?
Literally. I mean, he's probably sees things and hears her, right? So like he could totally believe this is going on. It's kind of believable. At first, I was like, no way. But then as I thought about his condition and how he actually is as a person, I was like, okay, maybe it's a little more believable because he's still kind of
But
a
that
child.
also brings back where my theory in the first one is where they have like split personality disorder. So
Yeah.
like when she died, he did the same thing where now he's freaking and like he's seeing her. But when she thought he died, she was like talking to him. So I
Yeah.
feel like maybe it's a genetic disorder where it transferred over kind of moment where now he's got that slightly
see that.
split personality or like schizophrenic kind of moment where it's making him just delusional. Especially because he wants his mom so badly. So his mind's being like, yeah, you can have her. I'm surprised he hasn't like imagined it so hard and you just walk out and he's hugging a tree. Mama.
So I'm trying
And
to see.
face fuck him.
Oh my god. Yes, he was in The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. He was in Hills Have Eyes Part 2. He played Chameleon.
All right, cool. Yeah, I thought so. That dude's really good at like his acting. He played a great Jason. I liked the mask. I liked everything about it other than just how they're trying to explain different parts of the story that just don't make sense to me.
Wow, that's super interesting. I knew he played Swamp Thing in the Swamp Thing TV show, but he also played Predator in the Predators movie. He played the classic Predator. That's interesting. So he must be really good with his like body image and his body what's what I'm looking for? Body language. There we go. Looking for the language to speak about body language. So our hero Paul comes in, tries to help. Yo, kudos to Paul. I feel like he stood up to Jason like the most.
Oh, he's trying.
actually,
He's like,
got
at
away
least
with
I
it.
can try.
But I mean, at this point, I feel like it's kind
Finally.
of unfair because at this point, Jason's still like mortal and not super powered. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
after this, like he's hitting people but in the future, he like punches holes through people. So and another slow motion machete scene. There's a lot of complaints that this ended the same way, kind of as the last one, but I almost find that the nice homage and the irony that both family members are dispatched in similar fashion.
At this point, they may not even have the third one, right? Like they might be like, "Oh, cool, you took out the mom and you took out the son."
But this one did good enough, so you know what they wanted. That sweet cash money.
Exactly. And that's where, the iconic mask we all know and love
comes in the next one.
You
By
know,
a total fluke, I might add.
But if you think about it, that's why I feel like this one would have ended like that. You killed the mom in the exact same fashion, but you fully chopped off the head. You didn't quite finish the job in this one, so it leaves you open for the third one. But if not, if it didn't do well, all right, cool, we can call it here.
Exactly. I like to, they remove his mask and it shows their reaction to seeing him, but we don't get to see him right there.
Oh, it looks like my ass.
I hope not. What's wrong with your ass?
Jason's face would be real furry, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, his face does have a beard. Furry, so.
Oh, I mean, my ass isn't that lumpy. Thanks, ass.
Well, that's what I mean. You're like, my ass. I'm like, is your ass that lumpy?
Maybe.
The last time I saw it, it wasn't.
Oh, God. You know you love it.
Got the booty. I love how he still picks her up and walks over the puddle. What a gentleman. After all that, and he carries her home. The guy literally got the shit kicked out of him, and he's like still carrying her.
I started this movie and the sun was out and my lights are off. And now it is dark as fuck in my apartment. Perfect setting for this movie.
My office is I'm watching it is always I have blackout curtains and I have a green screen covering up my door, so my room's always dark. I set the mood when watching
them pornos. I don't even need to buy the casting couch. I can just put it on the green screen.
There you go.
Pow pow.
Gotta love that green screen.
Easy cleanup.
Like you film anything and you can do it in space.
We want to go to Nashville.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, you know what I wonder in Jason X, what he's made out of? I bet you any money he's made out of space titanium.
Jesus. Aluminum cans.
I want
just
you to
in
know
space.
we are 2 movies away from that reference, so you can finally see it and understand what I'm talking about when I make
Yeah,
that joke.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking.
We'll get there.
No, it was just a melted down aluminum cans, but like in space.
In space. It's like titanium strong, but like space titanium. Okay, that's enough. So at this moment, we're kind of hitting the end of the film here, and I don't know what would you say is a better reveal? Did you like the reveal of the last one or this one?
What do you mean by reveal?
Because of Jason,
Like of Jason, like the
Of the
Ari
jump
Lehman
scare.
or this one?
yeah,
Uh Originally as a kid, the first one got me because I was not expecting that. You like the first time I watched that movie, like part one, you're just like, cool, it's peaceful, you know, it's all good.
that's how they.
And
get
then
you
Ari
here with
Lehman
this
comes
score.
out of fucking nowhere, so you're like, oh shit.
I feel like this one didn't scare me as much. The ending, I do like the first ending better, but I like the build up to this ending better. Like I like Jason's chase scenes and everything better than I liked Pamela's kind of scattered, hiding bodies everywhere. But
Plus, I like that you eventually get to see his face in this one, right? Like right here.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, that's what Ari Lehman created or became.
I don't like how he looks drastically different from that angle to the other angle.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah,
But I think it's because the hair was moving from the one side to the other.
exactly. Now you see it. It looks, there you go.
Yeah.
But just because of the shot, it almost makes it look kind of like it tricks you at first, and then he pans his face back over, and you're like, oh, okay, no, that is the same guy. But it almost makes me question it in the moment, and that takes away from the scene for me. But it is the makeup effects work is great on him.
That's also the only Jason that has that much hair. Like,
Like
every other Jason is basically bald or has a few strands coming off of his noggin, but this one's got like a mullet going on.
Yeah, because it's before he's he's not fully decaying flesh, so
yeah, he's farmer Jason.
Because then the next one he's completely bald, which never made sense to me. It's the one continuity error I really hate. Because in the next one,
I do like that you get to see him at least.
Yeah, his head doesn't look deformed for when he was wearing the mask, though. You know what I mean? He's just a bald guy wearing a mask. But then when he takes off the mask at the end, his head looks more deformed. There's like a little loss of continuity there.
And then Mama's face just winks.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think that would have looked good. I think it would have looked too cheesy.
Yeah, I like more leave the suspense. And that's why it's a freeze frame here. Because they had the score set for her to wink, but then they cut it. So instead they just freeze frame on it. You can tell because the candles stopped moving. So they're like, we have to still fill the same time gap, but we can't use that shitty ending. So we'll just do a freeze frame on the face and leave the suspense.
That was a great movie.
There
Jason
we go,
stunt
folks.
double, Steve. Wait, who played Jason? Where'd he go?
Steve Doskowitz. That's the guy who played him. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Really cool.
Dun, 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 dun.
So yeah, this one's probably my favorite of the earlier ones for sure. I really enjoy the chase scenes, the dispatch, the kills are great. We had a real low booby count in this one because it was just the same girl 4 times, but
hey, there's still some booby.
that's not really why I'm in it for these movies. I'm in it for the fucking dope ass kills.
You're a
and special
liar.
effects, so
You're in it for the boobies.
nah, I'm not a boob guy. That's what it is. So,
Ooh.
I mean, would you prefer the first one or this one? I know that's a tough one.
I like this one more because I've seen the first one 1,000 fucking
I
times.
always look at the first one as a separate film, and then I think this
Yeah.
is the true beginning of the series, in my opinion.
See the next one that we give everyone. That's where it actually starts.
Yeah,
That's
it really
where shit
nestles
starts
in.
going.
Yeah, it settles into its little pocket, and that's where it will remain for its entirety.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's good. They found a formula that worked and had the best reception. I do not like how the next one was filmed in 3D. So there's some gimmicky 3D shots.
I can get over it.
Yeah, and
I wish we could watch it in 3D. That would be great.
I do have the 3D version with the
Yeah,
old
but I don't
red
think
and
I
blue
have-
sunglasses.
I do not. I wish I did.
No, what I have, well, there's apps to make it 3D, right? Like, I know I have a VR headset. You can watch it in big screen, and you can turn it to 3D mode so it looks like it's 3D coming out of the theater. That's a pretty cool.
That'd be
nice
really
touch.
cool.
So I love watching the kaiju movies on the big screen app. It's like watching it in the theater. It's wild. Alrighty, folks. So that pretty much ties up part 2 of Friday the 13th. As always, guys, if you have some cool fun facts that we didn't cover in the show and you think it's really cool, please leave them in the comments below or message us directly or post on any of our pages or Twitters at Killer Kaiju Cast or Killer Kaiju Podcast for Facebook. Yeah, and you can always email us if you have other cool ideas for the show, or if you love Friday the 13th, you're really knowledgeable, always shoot us a message because we'd love to have guests on the shows as well, people.
Yes, please. More horror friends.
Yes, all the horror friends. I mean, horror friends.
horror.
That kind of didn't come out right.
Either way.
But yeah, for better or for worse, this is where it really starts to pick up. We're really stoked to get to the part 3 because I know part 3 is really where I started getting into them, and that's where we get the iconic hockey mask. Hell yeah. If there's any other series other than what we mentioned, guys, like we're going to do Friday the 13th. We talked about doing Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jaws, and eventually we'll do the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But if there's anything else you guys want to see, please let us know. And we would love to hear your opinion on what we should do next. But until next time, guys, stay away from campgrounds as always. And we will see you next for our Killer Kaiju podcast, episode number 15.
Go to the campgrounds.
Yeah, do it anyway. Breaking the law. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Bye.